This is part 3 of the silotel build. We are going to be getting some wood from the old barn. As you can see, it has seen better days, which is sad because back in the day, this barn was built in the 60s, and it was one of the biggest barns in the area. It was a 100-head dairy barn, and all of the wood was milled right on the property. Today's project is to get the roof off of the floor so we can get to the floor joists, because that is going to be the floor in the silos. T. Triddlewitz helping out today. It's going to be a long day, but we got the foreman. She's in a good mood, so hopefully everything goes smoothly. Right, Lucy?
No.
Oh, that's not a good start. This is one of my favorite things to do. Cleaning up, not really so much, but I do love reclaiming wood. I wish I could do this every day. However, I don't get paid for this specific project currently, so this is kind of finding a balance in between working and then, I guess, doing free work. Eventually this will pay off, but I don't get a paycheck for this until it's all finished, which won't be for probably another year and a half. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see it done within a year. I just don't know if I will be able to stretch myself that thin. And like I said, it's just a real slow, monotonous, time-consuming process. As you see, it's, cut through, chunk up, throw off the edge, and then once we get everything cleaned up, then we got to get to the floorboard still. So there's like 3 different processes on just getting to the wood that we have to get to. Getting into a project this big makes you wonder if it's even worth it. It's a lot of work. Sometimes you think no, but this barn was the barn back in the day, and so it was a legend. And it was sad that it went down, so it's cool that we're going to be reusing this and resurrecting the legacy of this barn and repurposing the wood for living quarters in the silotels. So we currently are getting the majority of the roof off of the mouth floor, because like I said, we got to get those trusses, and it's a slow process, but it'll be worth it once it's done. We are just going to make a big pile of this stuff, and then I'll get a dozer or a skiddy, push it into a big pile and burn it this winter, and then we'll just lay some dirt over it, because there's no shingles in this stuff at all, so we're not going to burn them. But anyways, we're going to get this section of the barn roof off, get the floor. The floor is solid oak, and so I'll try to use some of that if it's salvageable. A lot of it still is really good, but once we get all that off, it'll just be the skeleton of the mouth floor, and then we'll start pulling those pieces, and I should have enough from this section to get the first floor done in the silos. And I want to do that so then I can get a better idea on my floor layout. So have fun watching. So what we're going to do is we got to get some of this old copper lightning ground down, and I've decided it's not worth recycling it, because for the little I would get for it, it's just not worth what I want to use it for. But I'm going to take all of this, because we have so much. It runs the whole length of the barn and all the way down that way. Tyler's going to rip this stuff up, and I'm going to use it as spacers in the loft railings in the silotels. I think that would be pretty awesome. because it's pretty cool stuff. As you all know, right now to build something costs quite a bit of money, which I don't have a lot of. However, I do have a little bit of time and a lot of creativity. So to be able to utilize what I can is going to save money in the long run, but also it's going to just mean more once everything is done and built, and I can say that the majority of the materials in the silotels came from the barn itself. So I haven't decided yet. I think it'd be pretty cool if we wire brush that copper wire, but we'll see what we decide. Oh, nice. You got the whole thing? A lot of you have probably thought, I don't think it's really that safe to have kids up on a fallen down barn roof. You're probably right. However, I don't think it's very safe to let kids have free range with iPads and video games. And at least up here, they're learning teamwork, responsibility, and getting good work ethic, at least in my opinion.
It's flat and it grabs instead of cuts. It's going to be in this shape, this kind of shape.
So flat ones.
Okay.
We have got a pretty good jump on things up to this point. Here we're just sweeping off the last little bit of debris so that when we pull up the floorboards, we don't have stuff flying in our faces and in our eyes. I'm just tugging off this edge board so we can just sweep it on over. Probably not the safest thing to be tugging on boards on a barn edge, but I guess it is what it is. You learn your balance. So, well, boss is here. Everybody look busy. Yep. So anyways, we're going to get this swept up and start tugging a few boards and see what we can't do. How was the first day on the silotel project?
Good.
Teenagers. How about you girls?
Good.
Today's mission has been somewhat of a success. This was a long time coming, so I'm glad we got this far. It feels good to have at least a little corner cleaned up. The crew obviously hard at work. We'll let them be. We don't want to distract them from their sitting. But anyways, now that we have all this stuff cleaned up, we can get to these floor joists. Here's the center support running down the middle of the barn. So my idea was to get all of this cleaned up. We'll get all of these boards pulled up, and it's not going to be easy because back in the day they actually built things properly. So once we get all these floorboards plucked up, I'm going to try to use what I can. All of the floor joists, the skeleton will be exposed. We'll pull those off, and that should be enough for at least one floor and a loft. So as you can see, they're still fairly good. We're going to utilize them. Recycle and reuse. Next step after that, instead of peeling all this stuff off shingle at a time, we're going to cut a little channel here. We're going to clear some of the shingles, cut with the chainsaw. Again, if you're using a chainsaw on this stuff, I would have a chain you don't care about. I have a brand new one in there, so that's too bad. Anyways, we're gonna cut a section all the way through, tie on with the skid steer, and then pull it back and flop it down there with all the other barn material. So yeah, so this stuff's pretty rotten right here. However, I hope it comes up super easy, because that will make this project, portion of the project, a little easier. However, hey Tyler! Yeah? You want to call my phone?
I don't have your number.
Well, I'll tell it to you. Whoa! Layla, get out of there! Is it ringing? Are you calling it?
Yep.
Shoot. Maybe we're out. Oh, here it is. Found it. The joys of trying to film everything you do. It's not fun. Feels like a waste of time. Hopefully it won't be a waste of time. So the only way it won't be a waste of time is if a bunch of you guys subscribe, so it makes it all worth it. So maybe we'll take this opportunity to ask you guys, well, to please subscribe to my channel and watch the shenanigans on the silotel projects. How about that? Deals? Deals. We decided to pluck a few boards off to see how easily they were going to come off. They came off fairly well. However, Triddlewitz had a really good idea. He was going to go down below, grab a board, and hit up on the floor as I pulled up, and it worked really, really well. Actually, it worked so well, we decided to just quit for the day. So now you guys don't have to watch any more time-lapse videos of us pulling wood, at least for this video. End of the day shenanigans. Football in the trampoline. Oh, it almost went on the bounce too. That's a wrap for today's shenanigans. Tyler is in the skid steer. He runs ISO pattern, which is hands, not to be confused with case controls, because case controls is H pattern. ISO is one stick turning, other stick bucket and boom. This was part 3 of the silotel build. Not really that exciting, however, that would have been a flat tire. That was part 3 of the silotel build. Sorry if it wasn't that exciting, but it's a step-to-step process, and that's where we were at today. So if you want to keep following and watching, it's going to be kind of slow updates for a while, because obviously you see that that's not a quick process. But like, subscribe, and share if you want to. But stay on this project with us. We appreciate you watching, and don't be afraid to comment and tell us things that we could be doing better. We're always open for suggestion.